we're going to find out a little bit more about this throughout this session now, but inventory really can make or break a brand, can't it? So can we go down the line, a bit of an introduction, who you are, what you do, where you work?
Hi everyone, my name is Finn. I'm one of the solutions advisors at Inventory Planner by Sage. Now, what we offer is a platform to help businesses make smarter decisions when it comes to buying and selling stock in terms of forecasting, demand planning, and purchasing.
Hi, I'm Alice. I work for a company called TBCo. We are a Scottish-based homeware and fashion brand. We focus on sustainability in retail, so all of our products are made from natural and recycled fibres, and we are 11 years old.
Hi everyone, I'm Bojan. I'm the operations manager at Panda London. We are a sustainable, eco-friendly e-commerce brand focusing primarily on bamboo bedding, bamboo mattresses, etc.
I'm a customer. I have the pillow and the mattress topper. Love.
Okay. That's good to know, yeah.
Finn, we're going to start with you. When you talk to brands, what do you tend to see as being like the most common mistake around like stock planning and how expensive it can be when that happens?
Yeah, I mean, the list is endless. There's a lot of mistakes that businesses make, particularly during like the scaling phase of their operations. I think the key thing for me, and this probably rings true with a lot of retailers, is a mismanagement of seasonality. When I say seasonality, I don't mean necessarily selling more hoodies in the winter and more flip-flops in the summertime. It's things like if you're a gift-based brand and you're looking at Mother's Day, you may see an increase in sales or a decrease in sales accordingly. I think the challenge with misunderstanding seasonality and sort of when your peaks and troughs are in demand is it's really easy for you to fall into a position of being overstocking and understocking on your products, right? Obviously, initially, like overstocking and understocking have, I guess, operational concerns, warehouse constraints, storage concerns as well. But all of that cascades down into cash flow. And if you're investing in the wrong products at the wrong time, you're sitting on stock on your shelves, and that stock is cash that you can't actually use to sort of growth and scale the business. On the other side of it, understocking, you're missing out on sales, your customers' loyalty is going to be damaged as well. So both sides of those are sort of really common concerns that we see in growing businesses.
And Alice, what was the tipping point for you guys when spreadsheets or manual planning stopped being enough for the team?
I think when I sat in a meeting 3 years ago and was told that we were bringing in 20 plus new product categories across the next 3 years was probably quite a key tipping point. So in the last 12 months, we've launched 13 new product categories. We have a small merchandising team. Big companies, merchandisers probably cover 100, 200 SKUs. Our team are 2 people covering over 2,500 SKUs now. So sitting in an Excel and looking at 2,500 SKUs was just not how it was going to work for the team anymore. And I think that tipping point from going from a really small brand to suddenly we have 25, 30 product categories was just where it got a bit too much.
It's time to make a change.
Yes.
And Bojan, Panda London has grown into a category leader. How did inventory planning support that journey and help you guys scale smoothly?
For us, I think previously, I say us, I mean me. I think inventory planning was basically just putting out fires. It was what the issues that we discussed before about either you're overstocking or you don't have enough. You're constantly kind of battling these things, and you can't really predict things sufficiently for growth. Whereas now we could bring balance to how we order, when we order, and then make sure that we're always kind of using our space efficiently, our warehouse space, but then also we're not running out of anything when we shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. And Finn, how can smarter demand forecasting turn inventory from like a liability into a growth lever?
Yeah, I think it's often seen as like a bit of a bottleneck inventory, and people don't really recognize how much of a lever it can be in sort of unlocking cash flow within a business. I think the idea is, and when people think stock forecasting, they think, oh, just buying more to ensure that we're not stocking out, right? But it's not about buying more stock, it's about buying the right stock. And I think for a growing brand, it's really important to like squeeze every penny out of the pounds that you're investing into a business and making sure you're investing into the right place. So just getting visibility into the stock that I'm sitting on, how much is this worth for me? What is the value if I sell this? And I think the challenge of managing things in a manual format, which is what a lot of growing businesses do because they prioritize focusing on operational changes or customer experience and things like that. The idea is that you don't have visibility into the stock that you're sitting on, and if you can free up that cash flow, it allows you to reinvest into things that are actually really important as you're growing. And this is customer experience, this is going to be your operations, this is going to be your people internally, and I think all of these things are levers which are really important to help businesses grow. And oftentimes, frequently the conversations that we have is that businesses are sort of scrambling to sort out the stock side of it because it's not been a top priority, when in reality it actually impacts a lot of other things within the business.
And how have you found using it, Alice, and the way that you're approaching forecasting for more seasonal products?
I think like 3 years ago, before all these new categories came in, we were very much like lamb's wool, cashmere focused. So I know you mentioned, Finn, that seasonality isn't just autumn, winter, and spring, summer, but for us, we were very much autumn, winter heavy, and we were trying to take guesses, especially when bringing in new products, of how much do we think this is going to increase at autumn, winter. Bringing in all these new categories and using inventory planner, we're able to, one, report on an insane amount of data of, okay, well, this blue specific, with these specific fabric in this specific thing sold this percentage last year and it increased by this. So we're bringing in this slightly lighter blue in this, and this is how we're going to compare the products. So it gives it that comparison. And I think using the inventory planner section where you can add on a percentage and be like, we think the growth of this product is going to be 10% from December to January or December to February. We can then, inventory planner will literally say to us, okay, so you need to stock this much more because you don't have enough. So the little tools like that just come in so helpful, whether you're looking at ongoing items or whether you're bringing in new products to the market.
And Bojan, when demand surged, what role did it play in kind of keeping your supply chain resilient?
For us, even though seasonality isn't as big of an issue for us within the bedding industry, there are things that can kind of catch us off guard. So I think identifying blind spots is what Inventory Planner has helped us particularly with. For example, we sell mattress toppers, and we have a size that kind of performs fairly well throughout the year. But then every summer, people from the campervan community start ordering insane amounts of it, which really it's easy to forget, right? If you're planning your orders in February for, let's say, May, it's easy to not think about that in February, and then of course it can kind of sneak up on you. With Inventory Planner, we can sort of predict, okay, this is going to have an uptick. It had an uptick last year. It had an uptick the year before, and then we should start planning for it. And now we are confident that we have full control over what's coming.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add on the back of that, I think to your point there, all of these sort of intricacies of every growing business, right? When you're a small team and you're growing and you're trying to scale, you don't have a lot of headcount and everyone's wearing different hats and trying to do loads of different things. And I think the idea is that, particularly from a forecasting and purchasing perspective, people have to spend so long in the details, in the sort of spreadsheet supernova, which we sometimes refer to it as, where it's like you actually don't have the time or the capacity to identify micro changes in your business and the way that your customer is interacting with you. You're spending so long on actually just trying to get it done, as opposed to focusing on the sort of things that are peripheral to that are really important to help you scale and build your brand.
Mm-hmm. And Alice, what advice would you give to brands that are considering upgrading their inventory and planning systems for the first time?
I would probably give the same advice for any system, which is don't just look at how your business is now, but look at how you want your business to be and where you expect it to be in 5 years' time. Putting any new system in is time-consuming. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of buy-in from the whole team. You're going to change processes and structures to fit that new system in. There's obviously the benefits that come with that, but having to then do that 18 months later because you didn't forward plan and think, oh, in 18 months we're going to bring in new categories, or in 18 months we want to be this big and we need a system that's going to account for that. If you miss out on that, you're going to lose time constantly changing systems rather than getting one in the first place that you're like, I know this will support the business for the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And has there been any use where you're aligning it with your marketing campaigns, Bojan, or the planning side of things there?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot. I think with Inventory Planner, we now can kind of bring something more to the table within operations as opposed to marketing and sales, because previously, in our business at least, it did work. It did work in individual silos, let's say, and then it did feel a bit like marketing and sales will make this plan and then, turn to operations and just say, okay, you just make sure that we have enough stock, and, as if it's like just a snap of a finger, which obviously it isn't. So that's, with Inventory Planner, it kind of has given me the tools to go to our marketing director, our sales director, and just tell them, okay, you need to give me a coefficient, you need to give me kind of a sales uplift per month. I'm planning to get to, I don't know, have a 20% growth, let's say, compared to this month last year. What are you telling me? What's going to happen? Which new accounts are we opening? We now are heading over, we mentioned boots as a pain point. We're doing that as well, even though I wouldn't expect for people to order pillows off Boots, but apparently they do. So then I just need them to tell me, okay, what do you predict how do you predict we're going to perform within Boots, so I can then put that into my planner and just make sure that we have enough but don't have too much.
Yeah.
Can I also just add on to that? We're doing it the opposite way as well. So we also are using Inventory Planner to look at things that have a slower sell-through rate than what we expected, and then pushing back to our marketing team to be like, these items or this specific category selling slower than expected, could you guys put more emphasis on that or push that more, which then allows us to kind of pick up sales where they're slower than kind of planned for.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I don't know if we kind of have the same setup. We're a multi-channel business, so we do the same thing, but then we can kind of do anything we have access to. When we identify something that we have excess stock of, we can then push that into, let's say, QVC or Brand Alley or places like that, where we can make sure that kind of sells out, and then we're on even levels again before we order for the next period.
And how far in advance is everyone using the tool for like BFCM and those like big peak planning periods to make sure that you're going into it with enough stock?
I want to say like a year in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Black Friday for us is huge, especially because, as I was saying, like a lot of our products are also wool-based. So that time of year is, I want to say chaos, but like good chaos. I feel like small business is just chaos. But yeah, we're like basically reviewing products from the start when we start bringing them in and making sure that our factories, a year in advance, we're telling our factories we're expecting this sort of uplift at this time of year. Can you account for that? Are you okay to prep for that kind of thing? So I think having spreadsheets that are running over a year in advance is a lot of hard work. So Inventory Planner kind of takes it out of that.
And Finn, looking ahead, where do you see like the biggest opportunities for brands to use that smarter planning and stay profitable and sustainable?
Yeah, I think in terms of smart planning, both Bojan and Alice touched on it there. I think operating in silos as a growing business is really not the way to go. And I think a prime example that Bojan just gave there is like, we're pushing the wrong products. We're spending a lot of money on paid advertising, and we don't have these products available for us. Or we're still waiting on a shipment that's been delayed because of something in the supply chain, and therefore we're just basically throwing money down the drain on our paid advertising side of it. So I think for businesses, and there is tools out there that can do this, definitely, but I think it's just a mindset in terms of just understanding the connection between different departments within your business and how can you maximize profit by ensuring that they're all talking to each other is definitely one side of it. I think the other side of it is just going to be just making smarter decisions and planning further in ahead. I think just leverage insights. Like, there's a whole range of platforms and tools out there that can do it. I'm not going to talk about AI. I think everyone knows about AI enough, but I just think that being smarter in the way that you're making decisions, and also like for growing brands, I think one of the big concerns is that they fall into a cycle of being overstocked and understocked and not having the right visibility when it comes to purchasing, because all they're doing is looking at, well, how much did I sell 3 months ago? How much did I sell in the last 6 months? And I think one of the big things for businesses to do, which seems so basic, but it's really hard to track, is just like work out how much did you not sell when you were stocked out of this specific product? What's the impact of your stock outs? Because if, really basic example, you sold 30 last month, okay, well, we're going to sell 30 this month, but you actually sold out on the 15th of the month. And you're going to fall into this constant cycle of frequently running out of stock on these products. I just think being a little bit smarter in the way that you're analysing the impact of things and how much you could realise from a cash flow perspective if you were sort of looking at it with a different lens, if that makes sense.
So it's never too early to start putting these procedures and ops in place, even if you are like on the smaller side of businesses, so that you...
No, absolutely not. And I think, you know, obviously we're a provider in this space, but there is a whole range of different software platforms for a variety of sizes of businesses. And I think if you can get in early with a solution that you can see yourself scaling with, it's just going to take that headache off in the future. It's just going to mitigate that concern for you. And I think one of the big things is people just hire. They're like, oh, okay, well, we're struggling. We've got spreadsheets, you know, we've got so many different pages and it's all on paper and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, actually, in reality, we don't need to hire someone. I know it's not the most ethical way to do it, but you can get someone in and you can get a platform in and that can manage it for you, if you see what I'm saying.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. That was really insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you.